Tonight, it's about celebration. We're recognising the best of horse and human performance over the last 12 months. And again, what a year it's been. Far too many for me to even mention. I'll leave that to better judges than myself. I'd like to congratulate all of our finalists. You should be immensely proud of the achievements and contributions you've made this season. To the eventual winners, soak it up. It's a very, very special moment. Finally, let's charge our glasses and enjoy what promises to be a night of celebration and good times. Thank you and have a fantastic evening.
Warren, we'll start with you. Well done. It was pretty hard fought. You really had to work for it.
Yeah, look, nothing in this world comes easy, and it's great to be able to hold this award tonight. I'm really privileged and proud. Can't do all the support that I've had since I've been in New Zealand. It's been absolutely fantastic, from people like Brendan and Joe Lindsay, Daniel Narkle, Peter and Dawn Williams, but they've just been fantastic. Tiaka behind me. I've had a lot of support from so many trainers and owners, and it's too many to mention, and you can't win a premiership like this without that support structure behind you. To my wife, very important to me.
Well done, brownie points.
Yeah, no, can never forget that one. But yeah, she's behind me all the way. My kids are very understanding about the commitments I have to make and how important this job is for me, and the time consuming it is. And to my family that surprised me, they've arrived tonight to celebrate with me. I didn't expect them here, but they're here. So thank you for coming, guys. It's just been an awesome ride, and look, I'm looking forward to continuing it.
Trainer premiership winners, Mark Walker and Sam Burgesson. Mark, I'll start with you since you're next to me. The season before you had 200 wins, and then you approached the 2023-24 season. How do you approach that after racking up, well, a heck of a number?
Well, obviously we started our Australian stable as well, and that was always going to be a challenge. Having married an Australian, I knew how tough it was going to be. So, but yeah, we were down in numbers this year a little bit, but our results were still very good, and no, Sam's done a great job.
He certainly has. Sam, I'll bring you in, mate. How heavy is that for starters, and what does it mean to you as your first full season as a trainer to be holding the premiership prize?
Yeah, obviously massive for me. Extremely grateful to Mark, Dave and Karen for the opportunity. It's obviously not lost on me, what I've been given in terms of the opportunity to train these wonderful thoroughbreds. Fantastic support from owners. We've got a great staffing group as well. So incredibly lucky to be standing up here talking to you.
Well, you fully deserve it, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulate. You're making a bit of a habit of winning this one, aren't you?
Thank you very much. It was just a nice feeling, though. It's just really good. And we've worked hard over the last few years, and we've having an amazing ride. But it's not just us. It's all the people that we have around us. Our farm people, the trainers. And they're the ones that we have to give credit to. We just sit back and watch. But just love it. We just love the racing and love the horses.
Loving the horses is exactly what you do. You could do many things. Why horses, Brendan?
Well, I'm not sure really, but my father was a gambler, which of course got me to the TAB. The thing about racing, that's something that Joe and I can do together. And, we're out on the farm this morning with a couple of close friends, David and Di and Lachlan and Jessica Mitch. And, looking around at all our foals coming through, and it's an exciting time of the year. And Joe and I are lucky to be able to race obviously a number of horses, but thanks to Warren and to Mark and all the trainers and Lance and everybody else, and we're just enjoying the journey.
Well done.
Hi everyone, I'm sorry I can't be there tonight. I sort of chose to ride instead of getting dressed up, was just my ideal scenario. There's a few people I just wanted to thank even though I'm not there. All right, well I hope I don't forget anyone as well. There's so many people that I need to thank, but probably the biggest ones would be the Myers family and the whole team. They've been amazing to me right from the start as well, and put up with all my mistakes and taught me heaps every day, so I'm really lucky with them. And there's a few other trainers that have put a really big part into my riding. Chrissy Bambury, Tony Pike, Lisa Latta, they've all been amazing and given me plenty of winners and plenty of jockeys too. Lisa Allperson, Katie Hurcock, right from the start, always taught me heaps. Everyone's been so supportive, sort of put the pressure on in a fun way and made it quite fun, especially Nigel Palmer. He did so well last season, and it was really good to find out with him.
Congratulations. It must have been a bit of a whirlwind to have started training and be where you are.
Oh, absolutely. And look, it's me up here tonight accepting this, but there's a whole army of people behind me and supporting me that have all played a part of this, so I'm very grateful.
What about a highlight? What's been the highlight for you?
Oh, look, I think having I'm Wonderful tonight in the stable, she was just a flag bearer for us, and extremely grateful to Ben and Rod and the Windsor team for having her. She just really kicked things off for us.
Everybody I've spoken to and heard talk about you talks about how hard you work. How do you do it all?
I don't know, you just get up and keep working until the work's done and go to bed and get up and do it all again. So, but when you have horses in the stable like we do, and you know, it makes it worth it.
We're into a new season. Are there any goals or aspirations you've got heading forward?
Look, I'd just like to keep, bringing the best out of the horses that we have, and just keep cracking on, and hopefully we can get a few more winners this season.
Well done.
We've had to keep this one under wraps for about 2 weeks. I think we've done bloody well to do that. Mate, congratulations. There has been a hell of a lot of resource, effort, work, everything put into what has happened in the last year or so with Trackside Premier, everything. Why has it been so important to build what you have?
It's not lost on us how important this opportunity is, Guy. Like, if we think about 12 months ago about how we were, we're so lucky. And we're really privileged to have a really good crack at it. And so that's what probably drives us.
I can see the emotion, mate. What does this mean to you?
Oh, we just love it. Like, it's not a job for most of us. So, yeah, heaps of people to thank though, like all the crew. You know that, right? The crew do all the work. We just sit back and tell stories. And thanks to a lot of people in this room actually who let us tell their stories.
I should say, this is Scott Freeman, the executive producer at Trackside. Pip, I'll bring you in. What does this mean to you? You're on air a lot. People in this room will know exactly who you are, but what does this mean to you? You've seen exactly what Scott talks about, what goes on behind the scenes to bring all the coverage to the people here and around the country. I know it's a lot. What does this mean to you?
Look, I hate to repeat, Scott, but I have to say the same. And when we're privileged to show just what we have in New Zealand, and doing that with Premier and being able to showcase New Zealand racing in such a way that we can extend that coverage and have the likes of Emily Bosson sit there and go through those races and just showcase what we have on offer. I mean, it's you guys and all the jockeys and the horses and everything. We're just lucky to do it, and I have to give the massive credit to these guys and all the hard work we do. We just get to tell all the stories, but it's everyone in this room that really puts it all together.
We got to keep watching Molly Bloom.
Well, I've even went over to Australia, and she's over there now, and she's racing next Saturday. If you all want to bet, have a bet on her next Saturday.
Heard it here first.
She'll be a good bet. And she's in a top stable, and down with Chris Waller and Sydney. So it's in the top stable in Australia. So all she has to do is perform.
She does. And from you, Brian, to the lovely John, this Molly Bloom has brought two worlds together. Brian, who's been at Wexford for such a long time, and John, for you, who have brought some young, new people into racing, they must have had the thrill of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's been pretty special. We all lived in Sydney together. We departed, and one of our friends got really sick in a battle with cancer, and we just thought, what better idea than to get into a syndicate. And from Saudi Arabia, Sydney, Melbourne, Ireland, everyone was supporting her, from wedding parties, 3 a.m. It was, pretty special. So she's created a bit of a network effect. She's got a bit of a following. But if I was to say anything, thanks Wexford and their staff. Like what they do, their video updates, their optimistic attitude, it was just what our team needed to support our mate.
Very good, thanks very much.
What an incredible season with Velocious. I'm sure there's so many highlights. Can you just identify the best moment you had with her during the season?
Thanks, Emily. I think it had to be the Cracker Million. I remember she won her first race at Te Rapa on a Saturday, and on the Sunday a guy came up to me and said, "You're going to win the Cracker Million." And I'm like, cut it out, mate. You know, it's a long way between now and the Cracker Million. But as we got closer to the race, the pressure sort of built, and everyone else's confidence grew. I know Stephen and his team were confident, so once we won the Cracker Million, it was more a relief than anything, but that was a real highlight for me.
Tell me about these lovely people who are up on stage with us this evening and their involvement.
Yeah, we've got a great syndicate of owners. Some of them live overseas. We've got old owners. Not as an age.
Oh, okay.
Been with us for a long time. We've got some newer ones as well, but it's a small syndicate. It's a fantastic group of people, and they follow the horse religiously, and they've got a lot of enjoyment out of it, and we've really enjoyed the ride with them.
I'll just jump in here to grab a quick word with you. Tell me, what does Velocious mean to you?
She's just an amazing horse. We've had other Group 1 winners before, but nothing like her. She's just amazing. And she's a nice horse too. So you can go up to her and have a pat and she doesn't bite you.
That makes all the difference.
It does. It does.
Well done. Enjoy tonight.
Thank you.
I know you had your eye on her very early, but when did you really know that you had a superstar?
Well, I guess after she won at Hawke's Bay, yeah, she was starting to look good. And then the Cracker Millions Day, that was just magic. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was pretty good, all right. Colin, James McDonald got off her that day, and I think he said something along the lines of, that's as good a turn of foot as he's experienced, and he's been on some pretty bloody good ones. What's it like to have a horse like that, and when you hear those words from a jockey like James McDonald?
Oh, very encouraging and very satisfying. You know, he's the world's best, well, Southern Hemisphere's best jockey, so it's when he talks in that vein, you've got to take notice.
He's encouraging is a bit of an understatement, isn't it?
Could say that.
What was your favourite win? We just saw them all there, well, some of them, the big ones anyway, and she just won so impressively every time. But what was your favourite one out of all?
Cracker Millions was very special, but the Derby was great too because the pressure was starting to build. So, yeah, she had to keep going.
She certainly didn't look like she felt any pressure at all. Just lastly, Colin, you two have been big supporters of Roger and Robert for a long time now. What is it about them that you like, and how good of trainers are they?
Yeah, excellent trainers, great guys to work with. Yeah, we have a great relationship, and you know they've done a great job. Once they've got a good one, they really make it count.
When we look back at her record and you see those Group 1 wins from 1,000 metres to a mile, it's unbelievable how versatile she was.
She really was, Emily, and it's an absolute testament to so many people that are involved in this journey that we've been on. Particularly, can I pay kudos to my husband David, who purchased her, to Mark and Sam, who've trained her so perfectly, to the team at Matamata, also at Cranbourne, obviously Ben, Laura, who rode her in her track work, and Jason, her strapper, who just loved her to pieces, and particularly to our farm team when she came home to retire, and to these wonderful people. What a journey it's been.
Philip, we just saw the way that I've got to be honest, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to every other horse that is going to win and races in New Zealand, but that girl is one of my favourite horses. The way she races and the way she wins, seeing that replay of how she beat Sacred Satono. As an owner, when a horse that you own wins like that, what are the emotions like?
The hairs on the back of my neck go up every race start, to be fair, and she's just a joy to behold, and we're very lucky to be associated with her.
You certainly are. I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but she only cost $90,000 at the sales. You got a pretty darn good one there. What did you like about her initially?
Look, to be fair, she picked herself out. She was only in book 2, but as soon as I clapped eyes on her, she was a magnificent looking filly, and you only have to look at her. She's powerful, she's got everything, courage, great head, great ears. Yeah, just a hell of a good filly.
You can find some diamonds in book 2, can't you?
You can. Never overlook book 2.
How do you look back on her season?
Probably as a 3-year-old, she was probably more dominant, but sometimes, you know, she didn't have that turn of foot that we expected, and she failed to pick up a couple of horses that we thought she would, but all credit to them, they dug deep, and yeah, she was found wanting on a couple of occasions, but on her day, she was very, very hard to beat.
We talk about Orchestral and winning that champion stayer, and of course the Derby is the ultimate test of a 3-year-old over the staying distance, isn't it? And she did that.
she did, and we just got a chance to have the Derby King here as well.
We do, don't we? Roger, tell me about that preparation and heading her towards there. You're a master of getting them right at the right time.
I think I'm a master of having owners that will back me. People forget that we had the favourite the year before and pulled it out, and it was a bit of a contentious decision, but you've got to have an ownership group that believe in you, and both Robert and I are very fortunate that we've had that over many years, and I think that is the key to a lot of our success.
This is a question for the four of you, really. Take me back to the start, because when did you all first lay eyes on Orchestral, and what was the conversation like from Roger and Robert about Orchestral when they first saw her?
I got a phone call. Robert and Roger had been to Hanoi Farm inspecting the yearlings, and they said they thought they had a potential horse that would like to buy. So the first time I saw her was at the sales young. And
Roger, what was your comments?
Look, I hark back to her winning the champion 3-year-old, which I was very proud of. And, having a champion 3-year-old is like the old children's game of pass the parcel. Every layer you take off, you get more excited. And normally a champion 3-year-old is only the basis of what they're able to do at 4 and 5. So we've got a lot to look forward to.
Now, the owner or Mark Olligan can't be with us tonight, so Tommy Haslett has come up here to accept the award on their behalf. Tommy, you've seen some pretty good ones in your time. How good is he?
He's got to be up there with the best of them, to consistently do what he can do and carry the weights he's been carrying, that's something pretty special.
Can you put into context how difficult it is to win a Great Northern and a Grand National in the same year?
Well, it's not done often, but when you put three very important ingredients together, a good horse like West Coast, a great trainer like Mark Olligan, and one of New Zealand's best ever jumps jockeys in Sean Fannin, it's not a bad mix.
Pretty good combo, all right. What is it about Mark's training that gets the best out of these jumping horses?
Look, he just has an ability to get them very, very fit on the day. He's a pretty laid-back sort of a fella, Mark, and that sort of runs through his stock as well. And, as well as being a great racehorse trainer, he's actually a very good stockman. So, that all plays its place. And to have him to be able to train this horse for the Williamson family, who are, steeped in history in the stock game. And the reason the boys couldn't be here tonight was they've just got a little lifestyle block down the Tekapo Basin, about 10,000 acres, and they're sharing, so they can't be here. But they just wanted me to pass on my thanks to Mark and his team as well.
Hopefully they're watching the live stream while they're shearing a few sheep. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Joanne, a huge congratulations come over. Overall winner of Stablehand of the Year. This must be pretty special.
Very special. Yeah, it is.
Tell me when you found out about the nomination and that you'd won in the Central Districts. You must have been quite excited.
Yeah, I didn't know. Lisa never told me, and she just forwarded me the message to say that I'd won. And I was like, well, I didn't know whether I was reading it right. So, yeah, it was quite a shock, but very exciting.
We heard in the video your passion, 3:30 a.m. starts for the past 20 years. What is it about the horse that's so special?
Oh, it's just the love of them, I suppose, eh? Just, yeah, you do it for them.
And what's the favourite part of your job?
Watching the young ones come through, and when they get up to the high level racing, that's quite exciting.
And we heard Lisa talking about you, saying you're more than just an employee, you're family, you're a friend. That must mean a lot to you too.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I've worked for Lisa for 20 plus years, so yeah, she is like family, yeah.
She must be a pretty good boss.
Yeah, she's not bad.
Joanne, well done. Enjoy tonight, celebrate, you deserve this. Well done to you.
Thank you very much.
Mate, it's great to have you on our shores, and it was touched on in that video, but if I can take you back all the way to when you made the call to come over here, what made you make that decision? What went into that decision, and how big a call was it for you and Barbara and the rest of the family?
Oh, look, it was a major call. Look, I'd reached the pinnacle in South Africa, and I wanted a new challenge, and most importantly, I wanted a place where I could go to where I could leave home, go to races, and I know my family would be safe. And unfortunately, my country isn't that place at the moment. And look, it's always good to challenge yourself and experience new things. So graciously, my wife agreed to make the move with me, and we came over here. And look, it's been great ever since I put my feet on the shores here. Everyone's been fantastic to me. I've got great support, great people that have been helping me along the way. And you need that sort of structure and that sort of help to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for all those people that behind the scenes help me. There's way too many to mention. I don't want to single anyone out. Everyone knows who they are, but it's been great.
Well, it's been great to have you here. Emily, you obviously mentioned to Emily earlier on when you came and accepted the Premiership Award that your family has made the journey over here. How much emotion does that add? Knowing that they weren't going to come and then they turn up and surprise you, and not only do you win the Premiership, but you win this one as well.
Yeah, no, surprised I won this one. I'm really happy with that. But to have my family here, it's just really special. These award nights don't come around very often, and to have them all here as a family, we're all here together. So it's really special to me. They weren't in South Africa when I won the premierships there, so they weren't able to celebrate that with me. But they're here tonight, and hopefully I can celebrate great with them. Just want to have a quick mention to all the other jockeys out there that competed with me this year. It's really, I appreciate them all. They're really competitive. They've been really accommodating to me. And look, we formed some great friendships, and the rivalry is really good on the track, and we're friends off the track. So it's been really good. And I must just say that the level of riding in New Zealand since I've been here just has seemed to go up a notch. It really has. And I think everyone's just pulled up their boots and has really knuckled down, and it shows in the racing. And I'm really proud to be riding with them.
I'm not going to let you go just yet. I want to take you back to New Year's Day 2024. And one of my idiot mates decided to FaceTime me after he had about 1,000 drinks at Pukekohe that day. And he FaceTimed me with Warren Kennedy standing next to him. And then I have to go and interview Warren Kennedy the next day about his feats. Sorry about that, first of all. But I want to take you back to New Year's Day. When you win, let's say you win 3 or 4 of your 7, what on earth is going through your mind? Are you thinking, geez, this is just a bit too easy. I jump on one and it wins. Like, what is actually going through your head?
Oh, no, it's never like that. It's never easy out there. So many things can happen in a race. So many things can go wrong. But, you knock off 1, you knock off 2. You just keep going. And I go out and I just ride every horse individually, every race individually, and just forget what happened the race before. You've got to be able to, if something went wrong the race before and you didn't win, you've got to just crack on it and focus on what's ahead of you. And that's how I go out and I ride there. And once you knock off 4, 5, and then, you start realizing, geez, 5's not bad. That's pretty good. Knock off 6. Everyone's like, well done, congratulations. You're like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then 7th was just cherry on the cake. I thought I got beaten that race. Luckily, Habana put his head down and got his nose there. So, look, it's just every race individually, and you don't really think about it. Afterwards, you can reflect on it. But when you're at races, you're just in the moment for every race.
Just lastly, mate, I know Barbara's now obviously set up her training ranks here, so I don't know how long you were intending to stay for initially, but are you going to be a Kiwi for a little bit longer?
Yeah, no, we're looking to stay. Working towards my citizenship. So, you'll have to put up with me for a while longer.
Warren Kennedy, the Kiwi jockey. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
I read an article where you talked about the start of the season and your aspirations. You didn't even think it was possible to win a premiership. Take me back to that moment and what's unfolded since then.
I think, it's never something I kind of kept an eye on, and for me it was always improving myself every race and riding better every time. I've only been riding over the fences for just over 2 years, so it's always been about improving myself. And it was as the season was starting to creep to an end that I realised I might actually be able to knock this on the head.
And with it creeping to an end and the wins coming, that must have really helped your confidence too.
I wouldn't say that. Confidence is definitely something, it's a constant battle for me. And I think, there's a lot of people that have helped me with that, and I deserve very little credit for where I am now. Mark Olligan, my boss, he's been incredible and put me on some very talented horses.
Talk to me about the National, because that was a significant moment, not only in your career, but your season too.
Yeah, Berry the Cash, he's a very talented horse, and I've worked with him right from the start, and the weights were creeping up, and we were starting to wonder if he could carry that weight. But, you know, I suppose we're talking about the first Grand National. Yeah, you know, that was my first big win, my first premier win, and that definitely helped me and formed an idea of what I wanted to do with my career type thing.
And you mentioned Berry the Cash, and he is such a star, and he's won the hearts of so many racing fans. Tell us about him and what he means to you.
Yeah, Berry the Cash, as I said, he was my first premier win, and he's really, you know, Mark's had a lot of faith in me in that horse, because I have mucked it up a few times, and he's kept putting me back on, and it's really allowed me to develop into the rider that I am. He has a great group of owners, and he's now won 7 consecutively, including a couple on the flat. So yeah, he's turned into a very talented horse.
Portia, this award is so very well deserved. Enjoy tonight and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Sam, you knew you were going to win premiership award, but I don't know if you knew you were going to win this. I saw the emotion in you when you won the premiership award, but I feel like maybe this one just has that extra bit of meaning. What does it mean to you?
Oh, for sure. Obviously, sort of in a family that's been, you know, involved in racing in a long time. So I'm very privileged to be given the opportunity by Mark, Dave and Karen, like I touched on earlier. Very fortunate to be able to train the horses that we get to train, and the support from the owners, the staffing group, and then obviously there's Opie and a lot of jockeys that have contributed a massive amount to the success we've had. Sort of pinch myself every day, you know, waking up and walking down the barn and seeing some of the stock we've got, and very, very lucky and very privileged, for sure.
I'll just stick with you for a second, because I think during COVID was when the idea kind of started to formulate in David, Karen and Mark's mind that this might be a move for you, because you spent a lot of time at the farm during lockdown. COVID was rubbish for most people, but it turned out to be a bit of a silver lining for you. And you kind of touched on it there, but what was it like when they asked you to be a co-head trainer of a barn like Te Akau?
Yeah, obviously a massive opportunity, like I said, but then daunting at the same time. Obviously, I was following in some massive footsteps. Obviously, Mark and Steve and Jamie, and there's been, you know, many trainers of Te Akau, and you know, I've got to pay a special mention to Jamie. He sort of took me under his wing a bit. And, you know, there was many nights sort of looking at whiteboards and sort of writing work lists, and sort of me just hanging on to his coattails a bit. And, you know, he was a massive contributor, you know, to, you know, what I learnt and to be here today, I suppose. And then obviously Mark as well. It's been a privilege to work alongside him. He's been fantastic for me. He's very level-headed. You know, with even in times of adversity, he's been so good. He's never lost his cool, and he's sort of taken me under his wing as well. And, you know, he's given me plenty of advice. So, you know, I'm very lucky.
Mark, I'll just pick up off that if I can. I'll talk about you in a second, but if we can just talk about Sam quickly. What did you see in him? And you've spent a lot of time in Australia last season. How much growth have you seen? Because he's probably had to take on quite a lot of the workload.
Oh, exactly. His work ethic is second to none, and some of my advice hasn't been that great, really. It's just exciting to be working with not just Sam, our whole entire young team.
Oh, such a special win and a great reception from all of the fans down there who are very excited for you. Talk me through the season. It's been pretty epic.
Pretty epic. The fans have had too much to drink, Emily.
That's good. They're enjoying themselves.
Yeah. We've had a pretty special time. Obviously the Imperatrice, but we had a number of other horses as well that, yeah, we've had one hell of a season, really. And look at that list of finalists. Gee, I don't know quite why we're up here, really, to be honest.
I do, because you're a fucking idiot. Oh. Let's talk about a highlight. I know it's hard because there's been so many good ones. What was your standout moment on the track?
It wasn't on the track. It was in the, it was at Flemington, Karen.
when moved to strike one in
At Wellington.
yes, and we were watching it on the telly, screaming the place down, and everyone thought we were crazy. And I could see Glenn Holmes going, "Wow, wow, wow." That was when Imperiatrix was racing there. So it's not all about her, because Move to Strike, like, he just lifted us that day. It was a great day.
And what about for you?
Oh, championship day in Flemington. Pretty special getting past that clock tower, and I thought, oh shit, it's a long way to the finish yet.
It sure is.
They keep going.
And keep going she did.
Yeah, keep going she did. Absolutely.
What about enjoying racing together? Because it's obviously something that you enjoy together. Tell me how you decide what horses you're going to be involved with.
Well,
It's a little bit of, how do we decide? How do we get it over the line?
we get led a little bit by DC, and Karen and Marcus, and there's a whole lot of people involved in leading us. But well, Reese is Reese. He's a bit of a natter, and he keeps on the phone. No, we do get involved by that. We believe in the people that know what they're doing what they're doing. But gee, 'cause it's great fun, isn't it? You can have a lot of fun if you want to.
You sure can. Tell me about why horses, because you could do anything with your spare time. What is it about horse racing that's so special?
Purely, simply the people. You can have a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people out there now. You saw those owners' name up there. There's a lot of good buggers out there. And I don't know, you can bring your friends and family along. You can go and watch horse racing. You can drink a beer and have fun. It's purely about people. It's great fun.
Speaking of those people, you mentioned Dave and Karen, the team at Te Akau, Reese, Marcus. Talk to me about them and that relationship over the years.
Oh, we got very close over the years, I guess, and tall poppy syndrome likes to knock them, but they're good buggers. David, they won the trainers' premiership, and Opie won the jockeys' premiership, and my goodness, they got some good people around them that make things happen, and Mark and Sam are great trainers, and they just can make some things happen at times, I think, and I don't know. You just got to ride with it and have the fun and have a couple of beers and a bit of fun and drink a couple of wines and enjoy the moment, I think.
Racing has been described as a numbers game. Those who own, train or ride the most horses will usually be near the top of the table in their chosen field. But operating on a large scale is not for everyone. Many trainers who could attract more horses decide for a variety of reasons to restrict their numbers. This makes the daily routine less complicated, but the obvious downside is that smaller numbers also reduce the likelihood of top horses entering the stable. Success with modest numbers can only eventuate if the trainers have the ability to get the best of their charges, while also retaining a loyal core of clients. The partnership whose contribution to racing we honour tonight is a prime example of those who have gained big results from limited numbers. Decades of excellence in horse and people management have enabled the pair to maintain their returns over periods in both the North Island and the South Island. The husband and wife partnership has prepared the bulk of their winners from a South Island base, with the latter the first female trainer to reach 1,000 winners in New Zealand. But more impressive has been their ability to find and mine gold nuggets from teams which have rarely reached 30 and more often been around 20. There have been multiple Group 1 triumphs at Ellerslie, Riccarton and Trentham, and close to 100 black type wins. In the last 30 years, there have been only 2 seasons where the partnership failed to record a group or listed win. They have also defied the norm by retiring when still at the top of their game and had their last runner on the 1st of June this year. Their first Group 1 win came in 1988 and their last late last year. Sea Swift won the 1988 Auckland Cup, a victory which produced a financial windfall. The race was worth $500,000, the equivalent of $1.3 million today, and her trainers also had a third share in the mare, with the proceeds leading to the purchase of a 100-acre property in Ashburton. The stable snared another notable Ellerslie feature the following decade when Loader completed the Group 1 Railway Telegraph Double in 1996. Few trainers managed to win both the Auckland Cup and the Railway, and the duo we honour tonight went close to claiming another jewel in the Ellerslie crown when Sir Clive was narrowly beaten in the 2000 New Zealand Derby. In 2011, the decision was made to shift north from Riccarton to Barley Park, following the New Zealand Cup meeting. Planet Rock marked the end of the Southern era with an emotional win in the 1,000 guineas, giving the stable their first Group 1 win at Riccarton. Other flag bearers of note prepared in the South Island include Canterbury Gold Cup winner, the Meister, Group 1 place getters O'Reilly Rose, Xanadu Lady, Justine Coop, and Wazza Watson. Iguazu won 6 black type races at 3, and Dame Clay also won 6 races as a 3-year-old, while Sangoma was placed in both the 1,000 guineas and the New Zealand Oaks. The shift north was not without risk, even though their reputation preceded them, and there were never more than 185 runners in a single season in the following 12 years. But the flow of stakes winners was maintained, with another 9 wins at Group 1 or Group 2 level. Media sensation added a second 1,000 guineas win, and Shooker recorded successive wins in the Captain Cook Stakes. There were also wins in the Matamata Breeders, Auckland Breeders, Sir Tristram Fillies Classic, and 8 Carat Classic. But perhaps the best was saved for last. The 2023-24 season created a new record in terms of stake earnings for the partnership, with Desert Lightning one of the stars of the domestic season. Desert Lightning had a light but meticulously planned campaign as a 4-year-old. He gave his trainers their 3rd Captain Cook Stakes victory, and a win peaked the horse for the inaugural running of the $1 million Aotearoa Classic, which Desert Lightning won comfortably from the $1.30 favourite Legato, with the others more than 7 lengths further afield. It was a wonderful way to mark the final season for Peter and Dawn Williams, who are 2024 recipients of the New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing Award for an outstanding contribution to New Zealand racing.
Peter, well done. Congratulations. Do we need to put out a search party for Dawn? Can she come up here?
Unfortunately, Dawn just got a bleeding nose.
Oh, no.
Only time she's ever let me down.
Oh, Pete.
We've been trying to find her, but she's out there somewhere, but hurry up, bloody Dawn.
Whilst,
First time in my life I've ever seen it.
whilst Lady Dawn is hurrying up, talk to me about her and your partnership. That's a huge part of what you do.
Well, first of all, this is very unexpected. And all these people have said some nice words about me. A lot of them are mates. I've known for years. All I can say is racing's been my life, and Dawn's. And you have your highways and your byways, but most of it's been highways.
And as we heard in the video, you guys work seamlessly. She runs the barn, you're at the track. It's a really good partnership, isn't it?
Yeah, I do the track in the mornings and she'd do the stables, and you had 2 pairs of eyes. And probably if we both in the stables together, we argued, so it was better for me to be out of the way and let her do her thing. But I do all the training and she'd do all the work at the stables, which was good.
The horses is another such important part of the passion that you both have for racing. Tell me about them and why horses. There was never going to be another career, was there?
Well, I started off I started off wanting to be a jockey, and I was apprenticed to my father. Anyway, oh, here she is.
Here's Lady Dawn. Congratulations, Dawn. Not the way you're right. Oh, come into the middle where we can see you both. Well done.
Anyway, so Dad was always reluctant. So anyway, it come to race day and he went and bought all the gear for me. Races at Montreal. And it rained. So they called the races off. And all they had was cucumber sandwiches. And I'd been wasting for about 3 weeks. Anyway, come round Monday and I get the scales and I'm too fat. So he took all the gear back to the saddler and he says, you're starting at the butcher shop tomorrow. So there's probably about two apprentices ever did it. Brian Shaw, very good rider in his day. He was apprentice joiner and apprentice jockey. I was apprentice butcher and a useless jockey. Anyway, but it went on from there. And then got my licence when I was 20 and it's just gone on from there. But we've had a wonderful time and I've met some wonderful people and it's taken us all around the world.
Dawn, whilst you were away and heading towards the stage, Peter was talking about you and how you've never let him down. Tell us about Peter and the relationship you guys have had together.
It started a long time ago, about 43 years ago. And I did a lot of show riding and eventing, and I met him through a mutual friend and went to the races one day, and he just said, well, give me a hand with this horse. And I thought, oh, you're a bit cheeky, you know. But anyway, it all sort of stemmed from there. And I said to him one day, I said, oh, I think I can do this. I think I can ride track work. And yeah, so I left my job in the accountant's office and started riding track work for him, and it just carried on from there. And we sent a horse to Australia one year, and he said, you'll have to take your trainer's licence out. So that's how that all sort of eventuated. So we both ended up with our, partnership, and just sort of stemmed from there. So,
both of you, as I was talking to Peter about, is the passion for the horse and what you guys appreciate about horses. And that was what was so evident through that video was what people were talking about, your patience, your time. You've always got a good horse around you. What do you think? How do you think you've done that over the years?
Well, he's got a great eye. He's, I said, now that we've retired, you should be bloodstock agent and just do that as a part-time thing. And he's just got a great eye, and every year we manage to get a lovely horse. So
it's your managing of the horse as well. It's not just lovely horses, it's how you manage them. Tell me about some of the ways you can get the best out of horses.
I was a great one for giving the horse time. If I didn't think it was strong enough, put it out, bring it back. And I think I've taught Daniel Narkley that. Daniel was always impatient, had to be at the races. And I said, Dad always wants 6 months in the paddock. And I think he's only woken up now that I was right. But no, give them time and feed. And a lot of it's good owners behind you that will give you the time. Roger James said tonight, without the owners listening to you, you're battling.
You talk about the people who help you and have supported you over the years. Tell me about them and how important they've been, not only having each other, but having great owners and people in the stable.
Look, there's been a lot of people help me over the years. I've had some good friends. I was lucky enough to be a friend of Colin Gillings, Royce Dowling, very good horseman, Royce. He helped me a lot in the early days. There's been a lot of good jockeys. I was always lucky enough to have the leading jockey riding for us, and that's a big help. But it's just work your horse out and try and put you into your place type of thing, if you know what I mean. I know people would say, oh, what's he mean? But you've just got to try and work the horse out and do what's best for the horse.
And what about for you, Dawn?
Well, I think we've always only had a small stable, 25 horses maximum. you do have to turn them over. You have to be ruthless. And if you want nice 2 and 3 year olds and you think they're going to just win a couple of races, well, you flick them on and get the next one. It's just the way it is, you know.
It's probably the way we should have started this interview, but are you surprised to have been acknowledged in this way tonight? Did you have any idea what was coming this evening?
Well, I didn't have a clue, and I was in the toilet with a bleeding nose, for God's sake. I mean, I'm so sorry.
Not the way you anticipated it would go.
No, not at all, no.
First time she's ever left me on my own.
She had a good excuse.
No, I don't think so. She will get told off later. But no, it's been great. It's our time to retire, and I can always remember Colin Jillings, he told me when I first came, he went on 3 years too long. He said I should have retired at 70, and he went on 3 years. And he said, don't you make the same mistake. And that's, after winning Caracas this year, that was a big achievement for both of us. I thought, well, now it's time.
Yeah, and that was a key point, wasn't it? Going out on a high, and you most definitely did that. What a season, almost like Desert Lightning around you amongst a host of others.
Well, we're very lucky with, and I'm not just picking out an owner here, we've trained for some great owners. But it was, Barnes would have really come on top for us, and they supported us. They let me buy what I wanted to buy, and that helps. Without it, and not like over the last few years, that's all I've bought for. And lucky enough, they've had some bloody beauts.
They sure have. Going out, deciding to retire, how's that been for you? Leaving Biley Park, obviously, heading back down south, what's that whole journey been like?
It's actually been good. I'm not having to get up in the cold mornings. But no, we've been busy. We've been out and people are inviting us out. And I've got a lot of friends down there. So we've been having some good times. But I just really want to know that interview. How do they get Brent Thompson on the TV?
Powers of technology.
Tempson Brent rode my first winner at Buntucket Greymouth. And that was a long time ago.
What about a highlight from your career? What is the best moment in racing that you've had?
The day I met Dawn.
Oh. Oh. That's pretty special, Dawn.
That's special. That's special. And are you actually talking about the horses, or?
I was, but that was even better. That was the answer I really wanted.
I think I'd have to say Sea Swift. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Peter.
She really, we were young and she won some big races for us and put us on the map.
How proud are you of each other to have done this together, Peter?
Very proud.
And stuck together 43 years. I'd be bullshitting if I said that it wasn't. There's been some ups and right down there, but hey, that's life, isn't it?
It is life, and we're so grateful to have you in our industry and to celebrate you tonight. And everyone here tonight is just so proud of what you've achieved and are delighted to celebrate with you.
The odd time, the horses come home, the cases come home, and Peter was 3 days late.
That would be the ups and the downs.
They're talking about that, you're dead right.
Well done to both of you. Enjoy tonight.
Tonight's recipient of the New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing Award for Outstanding Global Achievement has never travelled in a kayak, but is entitled to be described as racing's Lisa Carrington. Like Carrington, our heroine has consistently beaten world-class opposition and set new benchmarks for her sport. The pair have similar attributes: a natural athleticism, superior fitness, a willingness to give their all when under pressure, and ability to simply go faster than their rivals. Tonight's recipient competed in 8 major events during the 23-24 season and was beaten only twice. More significantly, all her races were in Australia, and in a category in which Australia has long claimed to be a world leader. We do need to acknowledge the fact that our flag bearer was also born in Australia, but there is no doubting her right to be regarded as a Kiwi. She moved to New Zealand as a youngster after a New Zealand talent scout recognised her early potential and was mentored and developed in a leading Waikato-based high-performance program. She was an age group star and the top-ranked junior of her year and took little time to make an impact against all comers. There were 6 wins from 9 attempts at her first season in the senior ranks, including an initial success across the Tasman, but she was at the peak of her powers in the 23-24 season. Like many sports stars before her, she needed to travel overseas to access the richest opportunities, but well rewarded with $5.6 million in prize money, which puts her well ahead of Carrington on that score. She did return to New Zealand following her latest competitive campaign, but a huge multi-million-dollar offer from an international franchise means that her future career will be played out offshore. It is not an uncommon scenario, and her outlook is bright. Her role will change, but several factors suggest she will remain in the limelight. This striking individual has a track record of excellence and is expected to be of enormous value in the next phase of her career. There is already social media chatter that some of the best credentialed producers in the business are keen to involve her in a joint venture, along with reports that she is likely to start a family when the time is right. Unfortunately, she cannot be with us tonight, in part because the transport and seating arrangements became complicated. But she will always have a large fan base in New Zealand, and I'm pleased to announce that the 2024 award for the achievement as a global stage, on the global stage, goes to our champion sprinter, Imperatrice.
This is quite an achievement for anyone to win, but for a horse to win this award, 4 people have won this award. An animal has never won it before. Karen, you've won plenty of races, you've owned plenty of horses who have won plenty of big races, you've been up on this stage before for many an award. This one seems to have blown you away a bit.
I'm a little bit lost for words, which people who know me really well will be quite surprised about. Look, I mean, it's a testament to her speed, her spirit, her heart, and as I said earlier, you know, Guy, when she stepped out on all of those tracks throughout last campaign and before that, she was a Kiwi, and we really felt so proud that she was flying a flag for the people of New Zealand, for the people that owned her, for her whole support army, the people that looked after her and helped her along her way, that Faith that looked after her when she retired. So many, many people are on this journey, and it has been a journey of great joy.
She became a bit of a brand, really, or she has become a bit of a brand, hasn't she, Mark? When you go to Australia with her and when she wins races, do you sense that? Do people come up to you and talk about purely Imperatrice, kind of the brand?
Well, when you go to a racetrack and they've got beer coasters with Imperatrice on, you know you made it. And Moonee Valley did it, and we got a few of those beer coasters, and the staff treasure them. And to the whole team, the ownership group, initially, as a 3-year-old, she won Group 1s in a mile, and Jamie left her in terrific order. And so when she turned a 4-year-old, it started off well, but everything went pear-shaped, and the wet tracks and everything, things didn't go according to plan. And we regrouped after that, and I don't know, it's just you get a feel about different things, and whether you believe it or not, I have a notepad next to my bedside, and you wake up during the night and sometimes you write something down, and one day I wrote down back, and ever since we sort of identified a problem was her back, and we started to train her as a sprinter, thought outside the square, trained her off a treadmill, very, very limited. Most of our work was in a straight line. you always got to be thinking outside the square, and but the whole team of staff at Matamata, Cranbourne, out at the farm, but she was just a unique individual. She was great.
I thought for a second there you were going to say you woke up in the middle of the night and started writing in the notebook about your stories that you were bringing up tonight. No. Karen, in other sports, world rankings, you talk to athletes, you talk to coaches, they don't really care about that sort of thing. But she was the highest rated mare in the world for the Longines World Rankings. What did that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Well, and highest rated sprinter in the world, irrespective of gender. So once again, to think that, this mare can be prepared out of New Zealand in the first instance, bought by Kiwi, trained by Kiwis, did transfer to our Australian stable at Cranbourne, but, obviously under the guidance of the team. Look, hey, you know how much Kiwis love? Look how much we've enjoyed the Paris Olympics. Well, you were there.
It was cool.
The Paris Olympics just engendered so much pride. We have so much pride in being this little nation that punches well above our weight. And I think to see a horse that is essentially New Zealand, being right up there on the world stage. I mean, in 2023, the calendar year, she won more Group 1s than any horse in the world. Last season, she won more Group 1s than any horse in Australasia. And you know what, everyone? She is ours.
It's been a stellar field. Better get a few more of those bear coasters. The SENZ Horse of the Year is Imperatrice.
We want to talk about the mare, David, because this evening's really been about her. Tell me the first time you laid eyes on her at the sale and you saw her. What did you write in the book?
I can't remember what I wrote in the book, but I remember that I was a little bit fortunate to buy her and Sword Estate, who I think will be a world-class stallion going forward. It was just fantastic to buy those two on the same day, and we only bought 3 that day. So you just need a bit of luck in this industry because there's a lot of very good judges on the ground, and we were lucky enough to buy those 2.
With the job that you've got syndicating horses, you get to meet some wonderful people, and all of these lovely people behind you have been on this incredible ride with Imperatrice. What's it been like?
Oh, you've got no idea. In racing, we just get such a charge out of seeing the thrill that these really great people that have been successful in what they've done in their own lives, and they bring their family along, and their children watch the races, their grandchildren. It's just a win for everybody, and it's just been a thrill for us to represent New Zealand on the world stage, and to be the champion sprinter of the world is just the biggest thrill you can ever have, and it's a great credit to Sam Burgesson in his first year of training, and it's great to have his parents along here tonight, Royden and Kathy. They must be so proud of the wonderful job that Sam's doing. We've got our racing manager here who is as good as we've ever had, and Reece Trumper, and of course we've got the champion trainer in Mark Walker, and what an incredible job he's done training them. But it's the staff at our Cranbourne stable. Just to give you an example, we've got Laura Winks that rides her every morning. And I'll never forget, James McDonald came up to me one day and he said, "How on earth did you get that girl working for you?" He said, "She is the best track work rider I've ever seen in my career." And she rides 10 horses for us every morning. And Ben Gleeson, our assistant trainer in Melbourne, he's done a wonderful job too. So it's a team effort from Te Akau, Matamata and Cranbourne. And, I have to also mention Hunter Durant, who runs our South Island stable. He took Imperatrice to Australia in her first trip. So it's been a great team effort, and I'm just very proud to be part of it.
David, a fantastic night for you and the Te Akau team. For Imperatrice, for all the wonderful owners, congratulations. Enjoy celebrating tonight.